finally back here with another video, and once again, it's your boy MKS back in another video. And welcome to part 2, finally. It's taken me a while to get around to this, but part 2 of, as I say, technically it's still the first, actually it's the second now, I guess, but part 2 of my plans ahead for May. Come what may it all be well. Come what may, everything will be well. Come what may, all will be okay. Something like that. Anyway, may all be well on that kind of thing. I'd love to know any things you can think of that have may in them. But anyway, as per usual, these are pointers number 11 to 20 for part 2. Hope you enjoy my babbling. And as I said in part 1, I'm trying not to. I know I'm a bit obsessed with very obsessed with alliterations. So I'm trying not to think of too many that begin with F, because it's a Friday, although technically now it's a Saturday. But yeah, it's taken me a while to get around to uploading this. I can't remember when I made part 1, but it must have been like 6 hours ago or so. It was about 6 o'clock or so, approximately. But anyway, here goes. So number 11. Normally, when it comes to a new month, well, pretty much always when it comes to a new month, I like to freshen up. So I like to cut my nails, my finger and toenails, change my bedding, change my towel, which is something I forgot to do. And I keep forgetting things. Like yesterday, I was going to cut my toenails, and then today my fingernails. There's little patterns and things like that. But fresh also for a new month and that kind of thing. But yeah, so it's probably going to sound really ridiculous, but yeah, because it was Thursday yesterday, technically the day before, and now, but yeah, cut my toenails, and then Friday I was going to cut my fingernails and that kind of thing, although I don't think they're hugely long, but just to freshen up, so it's symbolically like something new. One thing I wish I could do, which is new, is prioritise, but I like thinking about all the things I could change. I forgot to say in point number 2, thinking about all the things I have learned, want to learn, and could learn, or whatever in the future. Although I don't want to talk too much about myself, I want to think more about Asian empowerment and that kind of thing. But yeah, I like to change things and that kind of thing. Talking of which, I wonder what Asia can change to improve itself. But yeah, today I didn't have the energy to cut my finger and toenails and that kind of thing. I used to clean my ears out with a nice life story, but with cotton buds, but apparently not really supposed to put them in your ear. I used to look right into my eardrum and all that kind of thing. Quite sore, but I think you're just supposed to put olive oil in your ears. You're not supposed to. A nurse told me you're not. Some people use shower heads to clean their ears, but that's not what you're supposed to do. Because it can perforate your eardrum, I think she said. But yeah, yeah, I'm not the most cleanly or hygienic, but I do try and be slightly hygienic, at least as much as possible. But yeah, trying not to talk too much about myself. Also, as I said, what Asia could change, what they could do to improve as a continent. I was talking about Asian empowerment. Also, I was thinking about Asian founders, and I would love to support them. Again, I suppose because it was Friday, I was thinking Asian founders and that kind of thing. And also farmers and that kind of thing. So how to empower Asian founders and farmers, how to support more Asian founders and farmers. Also, before I move on to point number 12, almost about to say people to try Asian foods and drinks maybe. But again, I was thinking of food, so Friday. Again, go on my alliterations, but thinking about the month more generally, might be able to try Asian foods and drinks for the first time and things like that. I've seen on YouTube, there's videos of people trying things for the first time, snacks from certain countries. So I think that'd be interesting to see more of that, people trying different foods, and I hope to encourage that. So anyone out there who hasn't tried certain Asian foods or drinks, I hope you'll do so and make videos of such. If so, please post them in the link in the comments. Please post the links in the comments, and also anything about Asia, Asian empowerment, Asian founders, how to support Asian founders, farmers, or any other ideas you have or whatever. And moving on to point number 12, so what can empower Asia financially and motivate Asia, and what some positive things about Asia to encourage them. And number 13, as usual, from a selfish point of view, I'd love to benefit the town from them as much as possible. Also, thinking about Asia, I'd love to find out about Asian creepypastas, urban legends, scary stories. Again, I'm trying not to focus too much on the ones that we were left, because it's Friday not on too many things that we were left, but films like horrors and thrillers from Asia and that kind of thing as well. Number 14, I hope to find solutions to problems and hopefully look at ways Asia can solve its problems and that kind of thing, and how Asian nations can solve problems facing themselves and each other as well as the rest of the world as well. So let's say scientists in China could work with India and vice versa, and Japan and the rest of Asia. I'd love to see Asia be united as much as possible, including to solve problems, to make peace between each other, and to find scientific endeavours to, as I say, solve their own problems. So hopefully, for instance, Japan could solve problems it faces, but also it could help the rest of Asia. Hence what I meant by supporting themselves. In that case would be Japan and each other. In that case, like Japan helping China, India and the rest of Asia, Korea and elsewhere. Again, all of Asia and also the rest of the world as well. But yeah, moving on to point number 15. As I know I said in part 1, and I've said in the past, like I'd love to support Asian ambitions, whether it's like in films, finance, or other areas. When it comes to football, normally my goals are to benefit Italian football and Celtic, but maybe Asia could benefit as well. I'd love to see Italian football have a partnership. Italian football and Celtic have a partnership with each other and also with Asian nations towards a mutual benefit. So hoping that benefit Italian football and Celtic by improving them, by helping them to have opportunities to practice and gain investment and sponsorship and that kind of get more money, funding and that kind of thing, basically. More money or funding, or whichever term you want to use, and at the same time, hopefully, be able to benefit football in Asia, but also Asian economies. And again, I know when it comes to football, I have a bit of a dilemma in that I wish to support Italian football and Celtic. So all my ideas to do with football pretty much are to benefit Italian football and Celtic mainly. Well, that's the plan anyway, if I can stick to that. Just like this month, I hope to do as much as I can to benefit Asia, and like as I mentioned before in part 1, in point number 1 as well. Part 1, point number 1, I mentioned about how I would love to everything I discuss, if I can, I hope to stick to this as much as possible, and do the best on this, but that can. But I would love to talk about Asia. So with my 40-point lists, I hope to think of at least 1 or 2 of those points to do with Asia and Asian empowerment. So even if I talk about Italian football, like the Italian football having tournaments in Asia, which hopefully will help Asian tourism and fundraising for Asia and that kind of thing. But yeah, that'll make sense. Yeah, in a 40-point list, maybe not on each of those in the list, but as many of them as possible. I hope to cover Asia as well. So I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I love to support Asian ambitions, whether that's in the film industry, farming, finance, Asian empowerment in terms of supporting their economies, financial things like that, so connecting projects together and that kind of thing. So again, even with benefiting Italian football, I hope I have a partnership which will be a mutually beneficial thing. Again, I dream that will benefit Italian football, Celtic, and Asian football to an extent, but especially Asian economies. But they could do things like Italian football could fundraise for Asian farmers, founders, Asians in finance, support their economies financially and support their ambition generally. I was thinking of Fiorentina, actually. I forgot to say point number 5. That's number 15. I think like 1 and 5. I was thinking I'd love for Fiorentina, an Italian team. Officially, it's ACF Fiorentina. I can't remember what the ACF stands for. Probably Association Calcio or whatever. But yeah, Fiorentina for short. I'd love for Fiorentina to have like partnerships with Five Guys, the company, and Five Nights at Freddy's, Fidelity Investors, and even a FTSE 100 network. But I hope to talk more about that maybe next Friday and each Friday. Sticking on my alliterations and that kind of thing. Also, I was in like Frosinone, the Italian team that begins with F, and also the FIGC, the Italian FA, and companies like giving away free footballs and that kind of thing. For instance, talking about Five Guys, they could give away free footballs and that kind of thing as promotional material. But again, I hope to talk more about that from next week, from next Friday, which I think is the 8th. And my passions for Italian football. But moving on, number 16, as I'd love to know what are the best ways to empower Asia. Number 17, I'm just trying to remember if there's something else I forgot, but now I forgot. Now I remembered something else I forgot. But on number 17, in point number 7, I was going to say it's in point number 12 actually, but in point number 7, I was going to say I initially planned to say, but I forgot. My memory problems. I would love to push myself to sleep by midnight, or at least 1 in the morning. So between midnight or 1 in the morning. Like for me, ideally, I think it would be cool if 1 in the morning was a new day, like instead of midnight, because normally things begin with 1. And also, like even New Year, I think should start at 1 in the morning rather than midnight. But that's one of my quirks, because I think things don't tend to start from 0; they tend to start from 1. So I often thought that, like, if 1 in the morning could be a new day, obviously therefore New Year on day, for what it's worth, would be started at 1 in the morning. But yeah, I hope to push myself to go sleep around that time, except for maybe Friday nights where I might stay up a bit later. I know I am unemployed, so some might say, my old friend Manji said, does it really matter about the weekend if you're unemployed? But I still like to keep different days, like Friday. I like to have like my fun day. But if I can push myself for the other 6 days a week to try and go sleep at least a little bit early, because sometimes I go sleep like 3 or 4, or on odd occasion like 5 in the morning, and then wonder why I struggle the next day. I kind of know why, but I sort of think I still have the energy. But yeah, I wish I could. I was going to say also in point number 8, I at the same time, though I do wish to push myself to sleep between 12 and 1 in the morning, between midnight and 1 in the morning, I would love to be able to sleep as little as possible, to need hardly any sleep. But going back to talking about Asian empowerment, I'd love to see how they could use their imagination in films, script writing, talk about their own creepypastas, which is a modern day version of what my dad would call an urban legend for anyone from the older generations. But yeah, I only heard about this term recently. I don't know why they call it creepypasta. Even before, I didn't know what an urban legend was. But yeah, I think that's what creepypasta is. It's the same sort of thing as an urban legend. But yeah, I'd love to find out more about Asian creepypastas, urban legends, or whatever you call them, that kind of thing. Asian films and imagination and that kind of thing. Music, movies, and all sorts of things from Asia. Again, actually, other than today, and other than like talking about my plans more generally for May, I do intend to stick to the theme, a different theme for each day. Like again, using alliterations. Sometimes I should probably mix up a bit or change up or whatever, but break free from my obsession with alliterations, perhaps. But yeah, I'll probably sometimes like Music Mondays. I'll start doing Music Mondays, supporting models, musicians, movie stars, movie industry, and that kind of thing on Mondays. On Friday, like Film Friday, same sort of thing. It was the same thing as Movie Mondays, but again using alliterations. But probably if I went to a shop today, I completely forgot that it was a Friday. Well, yesterday again, technically, but sometimes I do think I overshare and give way too much info away about my mad mind. Probably should not let people know quite how mad I am. But I bought I was going to buy M&Ms, and I bought Monster crisps, Monster Munch, basically, and Mike and Ike's or whatever. But and I thought later, I was like, oh, it's not even a Monday. But yeah, just give my use of alliterations. I'm very immature. But yeah, I used to buy things and say, like, this is for the kid in me, and that kind of thing. Anyway, moving on. Number 18, I'd love to find out positive things about Asia. Number 19, when it comes to software development, normally programming software development coding, and even apps and AI, and basically anything to do with tech. I normally like to help the black community, and especially people from Africa. But I think for this month in June, I'm going to focus more on Asia and maybe how they could network together with Africa in tech. And number 20, also in STEM generally. In the past, I thought of like what I called SEM, which is STEM without the T, so without tech. So in other words, Asian in science, engineering, and I suppose you could add English and entrepreneurship and maths instead of the, so STEM without the T. But yeah, maybe how African and Asian nations can work together, which I talked about like Egypt, but I didn't get around to finishing parts 3 and 4 of my plans for Egypt. So maybe this Thursday, all being well, I might cover parts 3 and 4. That's the problem when I don't get around to finishing, let's say part 4, or sometimes part 3 and 4, or part 2, 3 and 4. Sometimes when I only do part 1, and then I think I'll come back to it and I forget which ones I made or whatever. That sort of taxes my brain, which is already not as good as I want it to be. But anyway, I am out, and peace and love.